So we're going to look at naming some more figures. So now we're going to name angles, sides of angles, and their vertices. So let's look at the parts of an angle really quick. An angle is formed by two rays that have the same endpoint. And remember, rays are just an endpoint with a line going on in one direction. So we have one ray and we have another ray, and they're connected at the endpoint. So this is called an angle. The two rays are the sides of the angle. So this is one side of the angle, and this is the other side of the angle, right? The endpoint is what we call the vertex of the angle. Vertices is just the plural of that. So X here, that is our vertex for this angle. So naming an angle, consider the angle shown to the right. There are three ways to name this angle. So we can use the vertex and another point on each ray. The vertex must be the middle point in the name, okay? So that's the middle. So we can start at the top here and go Y, X, Z, or I can start at the bottom and go Z, X, Y. But if you notice, X is the middle for each one. That's my shared point, okay? Note that there is a label shown between the rays. So if this is another way to do it, there's a label here. That's a 3. That's not an angle measure. That is another label. So this gives another name to this angle. We can also just name this angle 3 if they give us that option. And the third way to do this is we can name the angle by its vertex. This is because there is no other angle in the figure with this vertex. So if there was other figures in here, if it was more complex, we may not be able to do this third option. But since this is the only option, if I say angle X, there is no other angles here that it would reference. It's going to be this one because it's the only angle present. But sometimes we're going to have more complicated diagrams. We might have another ray coming off of here. So, is angle X the one created here or the bottom one? So then you have to be more specific and use either the first or second one if the second one's available. So usually we're going to be using the 3 letters to do this. That's the more general way to do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the ALEKS problem here. So use the figure and follow the directions below. So here they want us to name the sides of angle ABC. So here's angle ABC. I highlighted it for us so we can see this. So remember, it's the 2 rays that are the sides, and you always start with the end point and move toward the arrow. So we have BA with our ray above it, and then we'll do the same thing for the next one, end point to arrow, so BC with a ray above it. And remember, this symbol is always going from left to right. It doesn't matter which direction the ray is going, you start from the end point and move toward the arrow. The letters follow the correct direction, okay? Write 2 other names for angle 2. So remember, that was the second way we could label things, is using that label in the middle here. But they want us to give 2 different names for that. So since we can't just say angle B, because that could be 1 or 2, we have to use the 3-letter system. So remember, the only big deal about this when you're naming this is that B has to be in the middle. B is the vertex here. So I can go D, B, C, and you notice how I kind of bolded B there on purpose so you can see it's in the middle. Or I could go C, B, D. I can go backwards. And again, B is in the middle, okay? So it doesn't matter which direction I go, I just have to make sure that the vertex is in the middle. And then name the vertex of angle 1. Well, that's the problem we've had this whole time when I was saying, we can't just simply name it angle B because it could be 2 or 1. That's the vertex for both of them. So in this case, it's B. All right, so that was naming parts of angles. I hope that helped, and I will see you in the next video.